Joining us now, the voice of the Albany Empire, Andrew Santillo, getting you ready for Sunday's 2 o'clock kickoff against the Columbus Lions inside MVP Arena. Before we preview the Columbus game, I think we have to talk about the issue that stands out, unfortunately, for the NAL, maybe the overall theme of the season so far: officiating, referees. I don't know if that feels as if it's the same storyline that stood out to you, but how do we handle this, right? Like, do we continue to talk about it? Are you fatigued? Take me through your mind, Andrew Santillo, of how you felt about the Zebras so far this season.
Sure. Well, I think and first, thanks for having me. I'm one of the two voices of the Albany Empire.
Thank you. That's right.
I think as far as like media people and people who are covering the league and covering the teams, I think you have to mention it, because when, and you've seen it, and we've done games where there's been long reviews, and, remember back to April, the first home game of the year, there was a lot of, sorting and sifting through the Ironman rules. And I think that's been kind of maybe a theme for the season, unfortunately. The league transitioned to the Ironman rules, and I don't know as anybody thought it was going to be like 100% seamless, but those first few weeks, people are trying to figure out. When we were talking about the referees on the sidelines almost, because they were trying to double check. Okay, did that guy start the quarter? Is this guy in here? Okay, and that has kind of smoothed out a little bit. But to your point, there's been some issues with either close calls, reviews. One of the pros and cons of having so many cameras like we do in the MVP Arena and such a great crew covering the game is we have so many cameras, which gives the referees so many different angles. I'm always of the mind of if it's, if you can't look at it pretty quickly and get an idea that it should be overturned, that's the whole point, is like these guys are calling these things split second. And if you go frame by frame by frame, obviously you can get to the bottom of it, but does it really overall help the product? Because, your reviews are taking longer, and it's, is it, this, guys, I mean, frame to frame. I mean, how many frames are in a second? It's like 16, 32, something like that. Right. If you go nanosecond by nanosecond, can you really get to the bottom of things? Okay. But even in that pace, usually the crowd is 50-50 one way or the, they're still undecided. They didn't get it right still after the review. So, I think moving forward, I think it would be great, obviously, if we could settle things on the field. And I think Coach Manas would be the first person to tell you, if we're talking about the referees, then we didn't do our job, because we need to make it so that the referees don't have any impact on the game whatsoever. And I think Coach Manas would say if the Empire play a full game like they're capable of, it shouldn't come down to the referees. So, I think to answer your question, sort of, we even saw the league had to issue a statement about the game. I believe that happened down in Orlando because of what happened at the last couple plays of the game and the clock and a last second touchdown. So I think we are talking about it. I think everybody would prefer not to be.
The season seems like it's shifting now, or we're basically past the halfway point. We're into late June, July. And as the standings have gone together, still competitive, but the Carolina Cobras have done everything that's been asked of them, and they are the top of the league. And it's going to be hard to find a scenario where they actually get caught by somebody. It seems as if the Empire would be that top team. When you're evaluating this Empire season for the rest of the way, is the first place home field advantage now off the table, and the expectations and goals have changed now for the rest of the season for this team?
Well, I think, you have to look at it kind of two different ways. You got 4 games left, including this afternoon's game against Columbus. You're 4-4, but you're 4-1 against everybody else besides the Carolina Cobras, who, as you mentioned, are in first place. So, you've been able to beat, everybody pretty much. You're 4-1 against the other teams in the league. So you've got 4 games left against those other teams. Say you go 3-1. You put yourself in pretty good position to be second place. And we're going to obviously talk about this game. This is a huge battle for second place against the Lions from Columbus. But I think, I think you still have to kind of go in with that, try to get the second seed, hope maybe Carolina stumbles here or there, with 4 or 5 games left. I think they have 5 games left. Albany has 4 games left. So, you're 4-4. So, you're looking at it, obviously, mathematically, the best you can do is 8-4. And I think Columbus is, or Carolina only has 7 wins going into the weekend. So, is it going to be hard to catch them? Sure. But if you're the second seed and you win your semifinal and then Carolina gets upset, you put yourself in a better position to potentially host that championship game. And I think that's really where you need to be. At this point in the season, like you said, kind of we're, 2/3 of the way through the season here. Albany's riding a 3-game losing streak, but those 3 losses have only come by 14 total points. So, and you've lost 2 of those 3 games again to Carolina. So you've lost to Carolina in some really close games, and they're the number 1 team, and you're the defending champs until there's another championship game. So I think Coach Manas would say, listen, we're the champs until they take it away from us. And Carolina's done a good job through the regular season of doing that. But there's still a lot of game left here, a lot of season left, for things to kind of turn.
Whether it was the standout play by the athletes on the field or the competitive games, it felt like you and I were always calling Columbus versus Albany games in the MVP Arena in 2021. This is the first time we get the opportunity to call this year's Lions squad. When you're prepping for the broadcast, what player stands out to you? What really jumps out to you about this 2022 team?
Sure. Well, first, obviously we're getting ready for this. I mean, this was the rivalry last year, right? Yeah, 2021. Yeah. This was the rivalry. It was Albany and Columbus. This will be the 5th time these two teams have played. 3 times last year. This will be the 2nd time this year, and Albany's won all 4 of them. So, as much as it was a rivalry last year, and we talked about Tommy Grady and Mason Espinoza, and Espinoza was the MVP of the league. But the Empire went 7-1 and then won the championship. I mean, Columbus and head coach Jason Gibson are coming in here hungry. They're in 2nd place. They're 4-3. They're riding a 2-game winning streak. And I think when you have to look at this Columbus team, it's their defense. They only allow about 2 points per game. So their offense has been, they've had some trouble with the quarterback position. They've had 3 or 4 or 5 guys play quarterback for them this year. Due to injury, but their defense has been really solid. I mean, they held Albany to 39 points, a couple of weeks ago. So really, I think it's this defensive unit, that really comes and brings its A game. And then if they can get some stabilization in the skill positions, most notably the quarterback, Columbus is certainly going to be a tough test, for this Albany team. And like we said, this is the 5th time these two teams have played over the last 2 years, and Columbus has not won a game. So they're coming to Albany hungry. This was a rematch of the 2021 championship game at MVP Arena that Albany won. So Columbus is coming here with something to prove. They're, like I said, riding a 2-game winning streak, one of those wins coming over Carolina. So this is going to be a dogfight, I think, and I think it's going to be a little bit of a lower scoring game. And also, when we talk about that Columbus defense, they held Darius Prince to 1 catch 4 weeks ago. It was 1 catch for 1 touchdown, but it was just 1 catch. So they seem to be the only team, at least, that has been able to slow Darius Prince down. So I'd be interested to see how they defend him this time and how Albany goes about trying to get it to Prince, who leads the league in receptions, yards, receiving touchdowns. I mean, he's basically been, not the MVP, I guess you could say, because he's not a quarterback, and typically that goes to a quarterback, but he is the number 1 guy on this Albany offense.
It's a unique Sunday, too, because not 1, but 2 championship banners are going to the rafters, the 1999 Albany Firebirds banner and the 2019 Albany Empire banner. Now, AFL ceased operations in November 2019 first, so Empire fans will finally get to have that moment happen where they see the banner go up. For you, Andrew, I think the best thing to do is kind of reflect what stood out to you as a fan on those teams from 1999 and 2019, being the Capital Region native that you are.
Sure. Well, I think, this really, is a kind of paying homage to indoor arena football. This is something that has been a part of the Capital District since back to the Firebirds in the 90s. And then you had the Albany Conquest, and you've had such a rich tradition, especially of late, 99, we're, dropping the 99 banner for the Firebirds. But, as of recently, you're the 2021 champions, you were the 2019 AFL champions. So this is really, really paying homage to, arena football and what it's meant to the Capital District. I think it's going to be great. They're trying to get more, as many fans as can pack the house here for a Sunday afternoon. It's more like an NFL game, with a 2:00 start. But I think it's going to be an awesome atmosphere, and it's going to be, great to see those banners come down at the MVP Arena.
Come join the fans. Come join the block party. Come join the broadcast. 2 o'clock, as Andrew just said, MVP Arena. Watch the game on YouTube. Looking forward to watching these two teams. Hopefully that rivalry is still heated up when the Lions and Empire battle one more time. Andrew Santillo, looking forward to being part of the call with you on Sunday. And we'll talk to you again on this weekend.
Should be a great game, guys.